Well, this is the last Sunday of our liturgical year. And next Sunday, we start a new year. And for this whole year, since last Advent, our Sunday Gospels have mostly come from the Gospel of Matthew. And that's called Year A. Year B, we read mostly from the Gospel of Mark. Year C, we read mostly from the Gospel of Luke. And the Gospel of John is intertwined through all the years. Matthew started us off last year and brought us all the way up, telling us all about Jesus, his birth, his passion, his death, his resurrection. And then we learned all these lessons, especially Matthew in the last several lessons, all the different parables, bringing us now to the culmination, the glorious solemnity of our Lord Jesus Christ, King of the universe. King is not something that sets well with us as Americans especially. Remember way back, well, maybe you don't remember, well, Father remembers. Way back when we had that revolution against King George. Oh no, you cannot squash us. And the British were always very, very ruthless. And they tried, they did not succeed. So we declared our independence, and the founding fathers created a document that lasts even till today in our Constitution. Of course, maybe we'll have a little bit of trouble electing a president, but let's not go there. The thing is that we never really liked kings. And even now today, kings are more of a figurehead. Kings and queens don't really have the power. So why do we have the King of the universe, Jesus Christ, today? And why is that so important to us? He must be some very special king, and he is. In Israel, going back to the book of Samuel, Israel demanded a king. Samuel said, no, you're not going to want a king. A king will enslave your children and impress your sons into military. It's not going to be fun. He'll take your farms and your food. We call those taxes now. We still hate it. But Samuel tried to tell them the king is not what you want. And the kings had all types of glory, right? To David, Solomon, and then they started to peter out. And they were exiled into foreign lands. And they looked back on the glory days of David and Solomon. And now they had no king, except God was their king. And they looked at God as their king. He must be very special. In Israel, the generals, when they lead their men into war, into battle, if you remember when we see the cavalry of the early army, when they lead their men into battle, they yell out, charge. Well, the Israeli generals don't say that. In Hebrew, they say, which translates, follow me. And he leads his men into battle. Jesus says the same thing. Follow me. And what did Jesus do? Jesus fed the hungry, cured the sick, gave encouragement to those who were downcast. And he's saying the same thing to us. Follow me. So much so that we see in Matthew's gospel today, the only place in scriptures where we actually see what happens on Judgment Day. For on Judgment Day, we will be asked, did you see me hungry, thirsty, in need? And so our lesson today is, let's follow this King, this wonderful King, who is the shepherd, as Ezekiel speaks so beautifully about. But even at the end of this passage, he talks about judgment. And then we see the beautiful reading of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. We hear this psalm so many times at funerals. I was at a Jewish funeral a few months back, and that's the same psalm they read. Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. And it's a very comforting passage to read over and over again. So what's the lesson for us today? Follow Jesus, because we will be judged on how well we care for those in need. We will be judged on whether or not we do that. If we don't do that, we will be cursed. If we do that, and I know the people here in this parish are so wonderful with the support that they've given to this parish, the support that they've given to things like the Angel Giving Tree, to support what they've given to people in need in this parish. So you're on the right track. Follow Jesus into heaven.